Hello and welcome to Brimwood Farm, and can you believe we're in February already? I'm so glad. January's gone and we are on the march towards spring. Now last month I started off the first seeds of the year, which were those herbs. So I popped in coriander, dill, some parsley, some basil, and also the aubergines and the peppers, which I also always start off in January to get a good start. And if you've been watching the smallholding diaries, you will know that I've already pricked on the coriander and the dill. But today it's all about parsley. So we are pricking out and potting on these lovely little parsley herb plants. So I sowed two types of parsley, a curly leaf parsley and a flat leaf parsley, and here they are. Just get the tin for you. So here we go. Here they are, and now as you can see, one side has germinated, and this is the curly leaved parsley, and the other side has not. So the flat leaf parsley were an older packet that I just threw in and nothing's come up. And that's why often I start things in January. I need to successional sow here because I haven't got room to sow everything in March, April. But by starting things off in January early, if things don't come up, I've still got time to plant some more. So I'll be planting some more flat leaf parsley over the coming months. Now, as you can see, these little curly leaf parsley have got a little bit leggy, and you can see where the light's been. They've been growing towards it. And as a result, they've got a long stem before even the first little germination leaves appear. So you can see all of this stem here. Now, we are going to bury the stem today because you could just plant this in your garden like this. But what would happen over time is, because all the leaves are coming from here, it would end up lying flat like this. And it'll be flat against the soil, and then all the plants and the leaves would come out here. And you don't really want that. You want it in nice rows or clumps, and you want it planted up to here, and so it's popping all the leaves out the top. So we will be planting quite deep and putting them into, probably leaving only this much above the surface of the soil, so they sit nice and proud. And you can do that with most seedlings. Obviously, the longer you leave them, the more inclined they are to rot if they're under the surface. So obviously these have gone a little bit far, but I'm going to do it anyway. And as I said, with the flat leaf parsley that hasn't come up here, if I lose a few, I can pop in some more curly leaf parsley. Now, the other thing you'll notice is the leaves on this. So they don't look very curly at the moment. And you often get that the case. So these are the first little germination leaves, and this is the first true leaf. And on curly leaved varieties, you often find that the first few leaves that come out do seem to be flat. And that's because as a plant is growing, it needs all this energy to grow. It needs to collect all that energy from the sun and convert it with the chlorophyll into energy to feed the plant. So obviously, if it only had these two little leaves and then this was really, really curly instantly, the amount of surface area to the sun would be limited, and so it would just stunt its growth a bit. So what happens is you often find with these curly leaf varieties, the first few leaves aren't that curly, and it's the same with curly kale and things like that. And then as more leaves are produced, it'll get curlier and curlier and curlier as the plant has more leaves to produce all the energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to pot all of these on. So we're going to prick every single little one out, pot it on, and then I don't throw away the compost because these have only been in this compost for a couple of weeks. They've not used up all the nutrients, so I will reuse this compost to sow another batch of parsley into and pop it straight back into this heated propagator. But for now, let's get these little baby plants on their way. So as always, I have filled the seed tray in the sink and let it have a nice long time to get waterlogged, because you don't want to be transferring these seedlings into dry soil. You want a really nice moist compost. You don't even have to worry about watering them immediately after. I'm just using a seed compost, not a seedling compost, but a seed compost. It's got enough nutrients in there to keep these babies going for a few weeks, and then they will be potted on again. And in the case of some, we may not be able to put them in, bury them in all the way up to the neck, in which case they'll be then potted on again later when they're transferred to a bigger pot. So, and I also have found, look, I found my trusty little pricker outer or dibber or whatever you want to call it. So as always with seeds, you want to hold them by the leaves, never pull them by the soil, by the stem. Just push in, have a little bit of a dig around. It's amazing how long the roots of
parsley seedlings and little seedlings like this can be. So you can see from this seedling, you've actually got quite a long piece of root. And we want to bury it all the way up to about here. So just go in with our dibber, make a nice hole, push it right down. It doesn't matter at this stage if the roots get all curled around. And there you can see instantly that this little seedling is now much more proud than it was when it was lying in that tray. So we're going to do the rest, and we're going to do all of these and pop them all into here.
So here we go, all done. Now you can see there are some that are perfect. So this is kind of perfect. It's buried right down into the soil. And most of these are actually all right, but there are some that had grown tall. So you can see this one had grown quite a way. So what I'll do, I've buried it up to here. And then what I'll do is when I transplant it, I'll bury it a little bit further, because there's only so deep you can go with these things, and you don't want to curl the stem around too much under the ground. The root is fine. You can do a little bit of curling of the stem, but you don't want to do too much, because A, you risk snapping it, and B, you risk it therefore rotting because it can't pull up and draw up all the moisture properly. So that is 31 little curly leaf parsley done. So it is well worthwhile taking the time to prick on little seedlings and then pot them out, either individually into individual pots or into a seed tray like that, where you can grow them on until they become basically little small plug plants. I probably left mine go a little bit too leggy, so if you have got seedlings of your own, try and do it before they get to that stage. It just makes it easier in the transplanting, because you don't have to worry so much about the stem bending or twisting underneath the soil. You can just pop it in, bury it all the way up to those first little 2 germination leaves, and then the true leaves will start to come out and it will start to romp away. Now they were in a heated propagator to germinate and just to grow on a little bit, but they're now going into my lean-to out here. Now the lean-to gets a little bit of heat from the house, and on sunny days it warms up really nicely, but other than that it is not heated. And what that will do is that will start to acclimatize these babies to the outside weather, and it will also mean that they don't grow too fast, because when you are sowing and growing in the winter time, you don't want your plants to romp away and get too big, because you then have to wait till April, May time when the frosts have passed to put them out. So I'm just going to put them into the lean-to, where they'll kind of sit and they'll grow very, very slowly over the next couple of weeks. And then when we do get decent warm weather and they fill those pots and become into little plug plants, I can get them outside and into the garden. In the meantime, I'm going to reuse that soil, as I said, and I'm going to germinate some more flat leaf parsley this time to go with that curly leaf parsley. So if you've got any questions, as always, please just leave them in the comments. If you've liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to Brimwood Farm channel. If you are on Facebook, I'd love you to come and join us on Brimwood Farm's community group. There's stuff going on throughout the week there, a lot of chicken happy people over there, so come and join us, and I will hopefully see you again very soon. Bye.